the last one, with the stock transfer module, we can actually do the same sort of thing. So even if the warehouse is requested stock and it doesn't have it, then it can actually get the goods or request them to be purchased in. And finally, we also allow people internally in large organisations that need to do this, they actually raise internal purchase requisitions manually, and then a head office or central purchasing department can then go and bring that in. So that's a quick snapshot of what we were doing there. What we're going to do is now we're going to take off our sales hat and go to our purchasing side of things. And if I process the requisition lines, so I'm going to process not the job lines, I'm just going to process stock lines for customers, and if I apply that, it's then brought up 3 lines. So we had some stuff that was there before, it's gone and combined some lines, and we have our sales order for 101 items that we want. I'm just going to change that to a particular debtor, a particular creditor, so that they're all the same creditor. So everything I'm going to get now is from the same creditor, which makes it easy for me, because when I want to raise the purchase order, it's just the one purchase order, and I won't print that, but I will process it. So that's now gone ahead, and if I go into my purchase order entry and bring up my last purchase order and go down to the lines, that's now gone and raised a purchase order for the stuff that we were requiring. Okay, it's actually the one above, sorry. Got caught out by the numbering. Let's have a look at that. Okay. All right. If I then go ahead and do a goods receipt, because it knows what it was linked to, it's then going to go back to my sales order, take the stuff off back order, and say the items are reserved and they're ready to be delivered or processed or picked or whatever needs to happen for that particular customer, or the stock can be put away to one side. So that's the sort of 360-degree link between sales ordering and purchase order entry. I'm just briefly going to go and have a look at the inventory side of things, because a lot of people are inventory-centric. And if I have a look at a stock item in inventory and just preview it, in here, what's giving me, this is what we call a stock item inquiry, so it's not a stock item maintenance. So at a quick glance, it actually shows me each of the divisions, what my stock holding is, and what my availability is. So the quantity on hand is my book stock, and what's available is actually what I have free that I can allocate to a sale or to a job, etc. So there's a big difference between those two. We also have a range of other figures, so I can actually see what's on order, what's on back order, what's reserved for customers, what's required for a job, as well as seeing, let's just move that across, anything in point of sale that's for lay-bys, stock that's been requested of me, and goods in transit. So in a business, if you want to keep track of your real stock, it really needs to be able to maintain all those different pots of information, basically, if you require that. Without having all those different pots, you're not going to keep an accurate control over your stock. Underneath here, it actually shows you we can have multiple suppliers for a particular stock item. One particular supplier can be allocated as the preferred supplier. We can have up to 6 different price lists. And with Triumph, you can also have various different special pricing. So if I bring up a customer and a quantity, it will actually find out that this particular customer or this particular item's on a promotion. So it's actually showing me that not only can I just have my normal price list, I've actually got a promotion as well. For some of the bigger customers, we have a what we call a catalogue facility. So when you have hundreds of thousands of parts, you don't want to clog up your inventory, but if you need to use them, we can actually import catalogues from different manufacturers. And as long as that catalogue part is there, when I'm in purchasing or I'm putting in a job quote, if I refer to that catalogue part, it'll automatically make that part of my inventory and knows how to bring it in. So the operator doesn't, there's no operator intervention, it just happens. The only operator intervention is if it came up when I had the same part number from 2 different manufacturers, it would ask me which manufacturer I actually want to work with. That's about the only interaction. But that way it keeps your inventory clean. So in inventory, you've only got the stuff you need, and you can have these big, massive catalogues that you might want to rely on outside, basically. All right, the next area I just want to have a look at briefly is the job maintenance. And if I bring up a job and have a look at it, same sort of thing that we saw with debtors and creditors. We can have a different job address, we can have different contacts, different margins, different breakdowns. And if I look at the figures, it then shows me in here what my actual costs have been, what I should have been charging the customer, how much I've invoiced to date, and what the budget was. Also importantly, it shows me that I have work in progress. So that's the asset that I'm building up on my system that either needs to be built out or written off, one of those two things. And it also has a commitment figure. So it's telling me I've got $200,000 roughly in commitment. What that means is I've raised purchase orders and the supplier has not yet delivered or invoiced me for those goods. And if I wanted to, I could then hit the purchase order button here and it would actually show me exactly what those commitments were sitting in purchase ordering and linked to the job. So very powerful sort of stuff. And all that's linked in, obviously, by your timesheet entry, by doing your creditors' invoices, your purchase ordering, your requisitions to jobs, and direct purchases. We also have a time clock module. So for those people that are working in a workshop environment, they can actually set up a time clock so the guys can actually just go on and clock off, and it'll automatically record how much time they're spending working on each particular job. The other aspect of the job side of things is that you can raise a job quote beforehand and then you can turn that into a job. And because it's basically a bill of materials or a list of requirements, it actually knows what it has to order. So if I bring up this particular quote now and go down to the lines, it actually shows me on different components within that job what all the requirements are and how much that's going to be charged to the customer. And in the end, it all builds up to make a total value for the quote. So in here, we're looking at 55% margin basically, but if I thought I needed a bit more than that and wanted to put in 70, it will actually go back to the details and actually recost it so that my margin has now come out at 70%. Or if I wanted to, I could actually go and change this and let's just make that a nice even $29,000. Again, it will go through and do that as well. So very powerful. And then obviously once I turn that from being a quote into a job order, it creates the job. It then goes and potentially reserves stock. It puts things into purchase requisitions so they can be raised as purchase orders to subcontractors or to suppliers or to whoever it is. So it's all very integrated and very powerful, but it stops you having to do the double entry sort of things and it aids you in the other processes that you need to do. All right, so we're just on the home straight now. So I'm just going to have a look at a couple of other things that we do just fairly quickly. One of those is point of sale. So it's interesting that two of our main key areas that we cover is job costing and point of sale, but in a number of cases we actually tie the two things together. So some of our jobbing environments where the guys just take stuff from the warehouse, stick it in a trolley and disappear and don't cost it, it's great to give them a point of sale system because all of a sudden instead of paying cash or booking to a customer, they're actually using the point of sale system, which is efficient, barcoded, and then they're just costing it against the job. So that works quite well. One of the other areas that we have is the B2B online system. So this allows your larger customers, they can come in and they can actually have a look at their own accounts. They can print out a statement, they can reprint an invoice, they can place new orders with you online, they can look at the status of other orders to see if they've been delivered or invoiced, etc. And that's all the business rules that we build into the accounting system are available on this web-based version as well. So all the special prices, whether they accept back orders and deliveries, they're all there as well. So it's all nicely integrated. Just coming back to our slideshow, I'm going to skip through this one, which is the stock transfer module, because we're just about to wind up, and just talk about why our clients choose Triumph. Because it's a comprehensive business package. It's packed with features, but it's still easy to use, and that's one of the key things about writing good software. You still have to provide the functionality, but make it easy to use. We've got 25 fully integrated modules. Our price, we are priced in the marketplace at that next level, just above MYOB, and you can see that from our pricing structure. And we've got ability to grow with your system. So you can start as a single user. We have a lot of single user clients, certainly on the retail side of things that are just the gym kids sports stores, etc. And we have a lot of bigger clients that are more project based that have grown from a couple of users right up, like we said, to 65 users. And you can do it one user or one module at a time, step by step. And obviously, we have excellent local support because we are an Australian product. We're actually a West Australian product, so it's all Australian made. And so we're right here. And the other big thing is that we listen to our users. So everything I've shown you, pretty much, and everything goes into the system, is feedback from our resellers and from our users, what they require to drive and move their business. And that's the best way to get the right functionality into the system. So we don't just go off and say, yes, we're just going to develop that because we think it's what's driven by our user base, basically. So we listen to you guys. There's quite a nice snapshot about how all those modules are integrated and the sort of industries that we cover. So we do manufacturing, importers, exporters, wholesalers, retailers, mining, engineering, professional services, building, construction, not-for-profits, a whole range of... and we have some great case studies. So if you want to come over and have a look at our case studies, then you're more than welcome to do so and come and visit our stand. And obviously you'll be in great company. So I've sort of pulled out a number of our West Australian named companies. So you'll see some nice ones in there like Orbital Health and Fitness, Harvey Fresh, Chockerby Road, AGC, which you've already spoken about, Advantage Air, Cosmic Sound. So we've got a number of... these are the more named type companies that we see. We've obviously got a lot more companies, but these are the ones that you're going to recognise more readily. So your invitation now is to come and take a closer look, come and see me or one of the guys and have a bit of a chat if you've got specific questions, and hopefully we can answer those. And then, of course, we can organise if you want to have a closer look and try it out for yourselves, then more than welcome to do that as well. All right, so that's the end of my speech. Thanks for your time and being here and listening, and I appreciate it. Thank you.